Rishi Sunak will be Britain's third Prime Minister this year, replacing Liz Truss after just 7 weeks and inheriting a daunting array of problems. Sunak became the ruling Conservatives' new leader on Monday after rival contender Penny Mordaunt failed to secure enough nominations from Tory MPs and Boris Johnson dramatically aborted a comeback bid. The 42-year-old Indian origin Rishi Sunak will be Britain's first Prime Minister of colour and the youngest in more than 2 centuries. Sunak will take part in a morning audience with King Charles III, who's anointing his first Prime Minister since ascending the throne. All right, let's listen into some congratulatory messages that have come in for Rishi Sunak.
We've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party expected to become the Prime Minister, I think, tomorrow when he goes to see the King. Pretty astounding. A groundbreaking milestone, and it matters. It matters.
All right, let me now go across to Radhika, who's joining us with the very latest. Radhika, when are we expecting him to meet the King and then take over formally as the Prime Minister?
Maha, it could be about 4 p.m. India time when Rishi Sunak would officially be the Prime Minister. He's now the Prime Minister designate. There are some formalities, and this is Britain we are talking about. So with the monarch involved, there is the kissing of hands traditional ceremony that is pending. So first, Liz Truss will hold at 9 o'clock, about half an hour from now, her last cabinet meeting before she makes a statement and heads out to Buckingham Palace to officially resign. And once she resigns, Rishi Sunak will be invited. The kissing of hands ceremony will take place with the monarch. And then we're expecting at about 4 o'clock India time, Rishi to make a statement just outside that famous black door of number 10 Downing Street, which is the official residence of the Prime Minister of Britain. Like you said, he's inherited quite a few problems, economically speaking and politically speaking. But today the focus will be to see on how and what his power team or his core team is likely to be. He promised just less than 24 hours ago that he's going to unite the split, hopelessly split, as some would say, Conservative Party, the ruling Conservative Party. He did get more than 50% of the vote share from the MPs, from 340 MPs. So that is a good sign. However, what kind of cabinet he will form, whether he will keep people who have opposed him in his cabinet, people who are loyalists to Boris Johnson, these are some questions. And he's very aware that he has potential enemies even within the Conservative Party. So given all of these parameters, it will be interesting to see who he takes within his cabinet. But the one man who would not be by the phone today would be Boris Johnson, expecting any portfolio for himself. However, both of them have officially shared some lovely camaraderie on Twitter, appreciating each other's efforts and experience in their respective political careers. So yes, a lot going on for Rishi at the moment. However, today, as announcements are being made, he is likely to take over in about 2 hours' time from now as the Prime Minister of Britain, the youngest Prime Minister in over 200 years, the first British Asian, the first person of Indian origin, and possibly the richest, even richer than the monarch.
Yes, absolutely. And there have been quite a few memes, especially Larry the cat tweeting about that as well. Also take us, Radhika, through the sentiments among the people now. What are their expectations as winter approaches, the war in Ukraine continues? What are their expectations of Rishi Sunak? And what's the sentiment among the Indian UK community, I mean the Indian origin community?
Well, I'll take the last question first. In fact, at Little India in Southall, there was a bit of a celebration. There always is celebration in areas like Southall. It's so vibrant and colourful and very India-like, particularly on a Diwali day. And with Rishi becoming the Prime Minister, it was double celebration at Diwali. So the Indian community is absolutely jubilant and really genuinely happy with the fact that a person of Indian origin has made it to the top job, and a moment of pride indeed for the South Asian community. with regards to industry, with regards to financial markets, with regards to politicians and the way people have been reacting, they feel that Rishi is somebody who can bring some sense of stability. And we saw some positive reaction from the market already with the pound gaining against the dollar. The industry is largely cheering the fact that Rishi has taken over this job. And many within the industry also feel that now is not the time for a general election because Britain is reeling under an unprecedented economic crisis with very turbulent times that it has seen in the last few weeks. And given all of these features, Rishi's experience as a former investment banker, he has flashing degrees from Oxford and from Stanford. He has also been the state exchequer and has, to his credit, managed the COVID pandemic crisis, as critics would put it, quite well, given the fact that he did initiate the furlough scheme, which kept a lot of businesses going, which kept a lot of jobs, which kept homes running with food on the table. So given all of these experiences, the belief is that he could bring stability, he could somewhat fix the economy of Britain or revive it to a certain extent. But Rishi himself, in his own self-admitted way, said that it's going to be very troubling times and the challenges are very daunting for himself and he has no magic wand. So given the scenario that he is in, politically and economically speaking, he's going to have a thorn of crowns. A crown of thorns with multiple problems that will be focusing on Rishi, and he's also going to be watched very carefully. Every move, every suit he wears, every shoe he wears. A lot of people have commented about his richness spilling through. So given all of these eyes that are on Rishi, what he will do immediately will be the big question. Of course, the G20 summit is coming up in Bali, whether he will make that international appearance, meet Mr. Modi there. All of these are big questions. And also the free trade agreement between India and the UK is in negotiation, is underway. Will that be expedited? Will India get a win-win deal as of Britain to set a template and, of course, to prove the fact that he is genuinely caring about Commonwealth nations as well as much as for Britain?